All right, so I want to do a video on Vince McMahon and the allegations against him. People are blowing this way out of proportion. It's not as big a deal as people are making it out to be. It's made big headlines not only in the wrestling world, but in the world in general. I mean, it's been in mainstream channels, news channels, mainstream websites, and everything. So it's blown way out of proportion. So apparently he made a $3 million payment to a former employee that he may or may not have had sex with and cheated on his wife with. So who knows if this happened or didn't happen? Like, we don't even know if this is true or not. I mean, all the time there are people that make false allegations against powerful men or powerful people that may or may not be true. And a lot of times people lie so that they can get money, that they can get attention, that they could make their bosses look bad because they have a beef against them, so they lie about them. So who knows if this was true or not true? Who knows what did he do? Did he fucking give somebody a hug and somebody called that assault, or did he fuck somebody? Like, who the fuck knows? And who really cares too? Like, is it illegal? No, I don't believe he's being accused of doing anything illegal. Is it immoral? Yes, but who the fuck cares? Like, I mean, I'm a Catholic, so I very much am against that, but like, it's not my life, you know. It's a, you know, like, who the fuck cares, honestly? Like, you know, he did something wrong. Like, he didn't do anything illegal though. He didn't, you know, fuck somebody and they didn't want to be fucked, you know. So anyway, but we don't even know if it's true or not. So before we blow this up into a big story, like, let's actually figure out if this shit is true or not. So he's taking a step back, apparently, at least publicly, saying that, oh, he's not going to be the CEO anymore, but he's still being head of creative. That's probably just a public thing. You know, behind the scenes, he's probably going to keep doing the same shit he's doing, but just so that they could save face and look better or whatever, that he's taking a step back from his role as CEO. And again, this made big news for whatever reason. Like, is the WWE really going to change? Probably not. You know, this, you know, is, again, not a big story. Like, not as big a deal as people are making it up to be. And what really confused me as well is that Stephanie McMahon is apparently taking over his role as CEO, even though just a few weeks ago or a month ago, she took a step back and said that she's temporarily leaving WWE. Now, all of a sudden, she's coming back and taking on more responsibilities. Does that make any sense? No. Then Vince McMahon, you know, we heard he was going to come out on SmackDown, and he came out. He didn't apologize or anything like that, which I don't know if that's right or wrong. Only he and the employee really know if he did this or not. And like I said, there's false allegations made all the time. It doesn't, just because you pay somebody doesn't mean that you are guilty. Like, sometimes you know, companies or people pay people just to go away. The ironic thing is that they paid them so that they wouldn't talk, and now this is a public story. So he came out on SmackDown. He says a couple things, not much. He says, you know, he says the WWE motto, then, now, and forever. And then he basically just leaves. Like, it was a very simple thing. I don't really know what it meant. It was very confusing. It surprised me that he came out on SmackDown and said something like that. But I read some comment on it that said that's Vince's way of saying, and I thought this might be accurate, Vince's way of saying, you know, that WWE is going to go on, you know, even without the McMahons, or even go on without him. So is this a way to maybe get, you know, a theory of mine is this may be a way to get Vince McMahon out? Because there's been rumors for, you know, a couple of years now, and you could even see evidence of this, that Vince McMahon is not the same man he was 5 or 10 years ago, physically and mentally. You know, he's obviously losing a step physically, which is expected as people get older. I mean, you saw the way he embarrassed himself at WrestleMania with the stunner. I mean, quite sad that people that are getting in their 70s are still wrestling and doing physical activities like that. Because most people can't. I mean, you see the same shit with Ric Flair. And then mentally too, you know, you see him, you know, losing a step, you know, with his character. you saw him reacting to the wrong entrance music at WrestleMania, and so I mean, there are some rumors out there. I always hate to talk about rumors because they're just that. They're rumors. A lot of times you hear these reports on these shit ass wrestling websites, and they turn out, everybody takes them as fact, and they turn out not to be true. I learned to not read the wrestling report, the so-called reports, years ago. Don't pay attention to those. So this is just me talking shit right now. Is it possible that the board of directors is using this as a way to get Vince McMahon out because he's losing it mentally? Is this a way? Who the fuck knows? You know, it might be. It might be. This might be totally legit. It might be something that the WWE has to deal with because they're a publicly traded company. They gotta at least act like they're doing an investigation. So, like I said, Vince McMahon is, you know, maybe taking a step back in a public sense, but behind the scenes, he might still be doing the same shit that he's doing. Or, like I said, this may be a way for, you know, some people in WWE to, you know, kick Vince McMahon out, to get him out, or at least lessen his influence, or make his life hell so that he will leave and, you know, turn the company over to other executives and other people that think they would do a better job than Vince McMahon. Because, like I said, there is a question as to his health. He is getting older, and there will be a time in the near future where he steps aside. I mean, the guy is 75. And as you get older, you obviously deteriorate mentally, you know, in your capability. I mean, some people can go. Like, he may well continue to run the company for another 5, 10, or 15 years. But, I mean, chances are that he will have to turn over the company to somebody else probably within the next decade or so. So he doesn't have much time left. And so what's going to come out of this? It's going to be interesting to see. My guess is... My theory is that this is a legit thing, that the board is going to investigate it, that they're going to, you know, say some bullshit thing. Oh, we investigated and this is what we found. You know, maybe Vince did some immoral things, but nothing illegal, and he's going to resume his capacities. You know, they're going to take a month or whatever and do some shit, and then... you know, and then do all this shit, you know, publicly to make it seem like they're doing shit, like take Vince McMahon out of his CEO role for a little bit when they're not really doing that privately. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Definitely an interesting story, you know, definitely something that spiced the wrestling world up for a change, you know, something interesting. This is 10 times more interesting than the storylines that WWE puts out. I gotta say, you know, like, this is very interesting. You know, they should really make a storyline out of it. I mean, think about that. They make a fucking storyline out of this. That would be fucking hilarious. Probably be very, very entertaining too. So there you go. There's my thoughts about that. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Is this legit? Is it not? Is it blown out of proportion like I think it is? Who the fuck knows? There's a lot of different theories, or, you know, that could be made out of this, and a lot of different possibilities. So who knows what's going to happen, but it's going to be interesting. So there you go. There's my thoughts on that.